Hi again. Um, in my last video, I was talking about asking and the song "On the Way." A miracle is on the way. 6 weeks after my husband Robert passed away, I was driving to Austin for a Wealth with God conference. It's an annual conference, and it's called the Big Event because it's a big event. And people from all over the world come, and it's a weekend of, or not a weekend, it's a weekend of business and teaching and biblical teaching and everything. But I was driving down, and 6 weeks after I call the love of the I hesitate to say the love of my life, because when my children see this, they're going to say, but what about our dad? This is a different love. Robert was the love of my life, and he was the love for the rest of my life. And I struggled, not because I struggled because I just lost the love of my life. I was in deep financial trouble, didn't know how anything was going to happen or anything like this. I just knew that God would bring me through this. But I was driving down, and every day and at night, I wasn't sleeping real good because I was fighting for my life. And when I say I was fighting for my life, it's those voices, and they are demonic voices, whether you believe or not, but they're the voices that tell you, quit. Why don't you just kill yourself? Why don't you just end it? You know, that is a voice that comes to you in your weakest. And I was weak. I have pistols. I know how to load them. I know how to use them. I keep them in strategic places. And it was all that I could do sometimes, not to just say, okay, I'll just end it all. Because the one that I was in a marriage covenant with, when I say the love of my life, we had a very small, intimate wedding. And when it was time for he and I to say our vows, he said, Christy, we were just staring each other in the eyes. He said, Christy, I was saying those vows to you, and everybody was gone. It was just you and me and God. And it was. That's how strong of a covenant it was. And I struggled.
A new station alert has arrived.
We're having storms, but I struggled because I gave him up my heart that I don't give to everybody. You don't cast your pearls before swine. You keep your pearls. And you only give them to people that are intimate with you. And I struggled that time through, I don't know how long, but I fought. You know, it was a 3 hour and 3 minute drive to where I was staying. And I didn't have that song, I don't think. I don't know. I was listening to stuff and I was just having to sit there and I was screaming. I had asked God to drive for me. I need you to drive because I can't do this. And I was just struggling to tell myself, don't give up. Don't quit. Don't you dare quit. Don't you dare quit, Christy. Don't you dare. Don't you dare quit. Don't you give up. God has a purpose and a reason for you. Don't you give up. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. I had to do that for 3 hours. I was going to ride my spider down there. And the Lord said, no, drive your car. Drive the car. I was like, okay. My spider would have been more fun, but I was fighting one of those intense fights for my life. Not just for my life, it was for my business. For our business, it's mine and the Lord's. For my family. For relationships. For relationships that are still to come. Because when you watch this video, you're gonna learn things about me, and you're gonna get to know me in ways I don't tell people. I just don't. I'm a pretty private person, or I was, but I was struggling that day, and I went down to this conference. I was numb. The only emotion I seemed to have was crying. I smiled on the outside, but on the inside, I was screaming. I was hurting. And at one point in time in this conference, one of the questions were, if you only had an hour left to live, what would you do? And I don't remember my answer to that, but I did go up to the speaker afterwards, and because he knows that his name is James Baker. He's a pastor in Zion Church in Ohio, and he's the creator for Wealth with God. Anyway, he asked that question because it gets you to that point of thinking a little deeper and a little deeper and a little deeper. And I went up to him after that session, and I said, honestly, that's probably not a good question to ask me right now. And I told him why. And he said, I understand. And I didn't give up. I got through that day. I got through that session. I got through the conference. I was working the conference. Enjoyed that. I pray I get to do that from here to eternity till they either stop having them or I don't know. Anyway, I didn't quit. I didn't give up. My miracle is on the way. And perhaps in that situation, the miracle was that I didn't give up. No, the Lord said, no, it's not. Just keep going. You know, when my mother moved in with me, she was going through some tough times. And I'm so very thankful that she moved in because the house was so empty, just so empty, without Robert, without another spirit being in the house. And I told her, you don't know how close you were to this Christmas not being with me. But I didn't give up. I didn't quit. I pressed on. My miracle is on the way. My forward movement causes my Red Seas to part. Your problems, we just keep going forth. Go forth with God, and your Red Seas will part. And you're going to walk through on dry ground. And God makes the crooked path straight for you. And as you go forth, the mountains melt like wax at the presence of the Lord. Your mountains of debt, your mountains of problems, your mountains of insecurity, your mountains of fear, your mountains of whatever situation you're going through, as you press on and you're going with God, pressing on with Him, everything changes. Does it do it all when we think it should? No, because in Isaiah 61, verse 22, it says, at the right time, the Lord will make it happen. That's a promise to you. It's a promise to me, and it's coming about. Be encouraged today. Don't give up. Don't give in. At the right time, the Lord will make it happen. Your miracle is on the way. I bless you in Jesus' name. Till next time.